Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are embarking on a really profound, structured lecture that brilliantly synthesizes ancient Eastern philosophy, the teachings of mystical scholars, and the absolute cutting edge of quantum science. Seriously, we're going to fundamentally reshape how you view your reality. If you've ever felt like the universe is just kind of happening to you rather than with you, you are exactly in the right place. We're going to build this up step by step, starting with our introduction to this worldview, moving into the main body to explore the core laws of the universe, and finally, for our conclusion, outlining exactly what you need to execute in your daily life to see some truly incredible results. Okay, let's dive right in. Here's our syllabus for today. First up, the universe and the microcosm. Then, the core laws driving our reality. Next, where science meets spirit. Finally, what to practice and the ultimate results you can expect. All right, kicking things off with part one, the universe and the microcosm. Think of this as our foundational introduction. To really understand the laws of the universe, we first have to understand our exact place within it. I mean, we often think of ourselves as these tiny, insignificant observers, just looking up at a massive, disconnected sky, right? But ancient wisdom tells a completely different story. Let's define the microcosm. It literally translates to a miniature universe. According to Young Bib teachings, a human being isn't just some biological machine made of physical matter. Without the soul or the spirit, the physical body is merely earth. It's not a true universe. But the moment the spirit enters the body, you become a condensed embodiment of the cosmos itself. You are quite literally a universe walking around in miniature form. This whole idea is built on the concept of three cosmic energies. See, the universe isn't just empty space. It's composed of heavenly energy, earthly energy, and human energy. Animals, plants, the physical earth itself, they all operate purely on earthly energy. But human existence, that is a completely unique phenomenon. We are the only beings where all three of these cosmic forces perfectly intersect. You are the bridge. Moving right along to part two, core laws driving the universe. This is the main body of our lecture today. So, if we are indeed miniature universes, what specific rules govern our reality? Well, the first law is a mathematical constant of existence called the 3-7 rule. This law, which comes from the Young Bub philosophy, states that cosmic and human existence is fundamentally balanced in a 70% to 30% ratio. This isn't just some random fraction, by the way. It dictates exactly how energy, effort, and reality are distributed across everything. And here is exactly how that ratio applies to you and me. 70% of our focus and our makeup is tied to our earthly life, our physical body, and our tangible day-to-day reality. The remaining 30% is our heavenly, spiritual energy, that unseen force that guides us. We absolutely need to honor both. Because if you only focus on the physical 70%, you're going to hit a wall. You literally need that 30% spiritual connection to truly evolve and break through life's barriers. Now, right alongside this numerical balance is the incredibly important Buddhist law of dependent origination. This is the core understanding that absolutely nothing in our lives is an isolated accident. Everything, and I mean everything, arises together in a mutually interdependent web of cause and effect. Your current reality is not some random lottery. It is the exact result of interconnected conditions that you have helped create. To really grasp this, think about the snowstorm analogy from the Barr Center for Buddhist Studies. A snowstorm doesn't just happen because of one single thing. It requires a highly specific temperature, adequate precipitation, and certain wind conditions. All of these elements co-create the event. Your life's challenges and your successes, they are the exact same thing. Karma and conditions come together to co-create your reality. It's a dynamic, living process, not just a simple A to B sequence. So you might be wondering, if everything is so interconnected, how do we actually act? For that, we look to the Taoist principle of Wu Wei. Now, this is often translated as non-action, but actually scratch that. A better translation is naturalness. It's the art of achieving results by aligning with the natural flow of the universe, rather than forcing your own ego-driven effort. Think of it as the ultimate antidote to our modern, burnout-heavy lifestyle. When you finally release that desperate grip on how things must be, you allow yourself to effortlessly flow with those universal currents. Which brings us to part three, the intersection of science and spirit. It is incredibly fascinating how these ancient spiritual laws map so perfectly onto modern quantum physics. We're looking at a stark contrast here. The old classical view saw the universe as isolated, deterministic matter. The old billiard ball universe where things just crash into each other. But the quantum and spiritual view, that sees the universe as an interconnected web that is actively shaped by the consciousness of the observer. Sound familiar? Quantum mechanics' observer effect is quite literally proving what Buddhists and Taoists have been saying for millennia. Your consciousness directly interacts with the very fabric of reality. When we synthesize all these amazing insights together, we arrive at the 7 universal laws, the most vital ones being all is one, change is the absolute only constant, suffering is simply the language of separation, and everything evolves to higher consciousness. Whether you're reading a dense physics textbook or meditating quietly in a temple, the fundamental truths are exactly the same. We are not separated from the universe. We are the universe experiencing itself. And this brings us to a critical turning point in human evolution. Throughout the ancient era, humanity was focused almost entirely on mere survival. Then, during the early Heaven era, we shifted focus to personal growth and individual karma. But according to these unified teachings, we have now entered what's called the later Heaven era. The rules of the game have completely changed, folks. Today, the focus is entirely on social contribution. All right, let's get practical with part 4, what to execute and how. Because honestly, understanding the laws is great, but applying them is what actually changes your life. Remember the 3-7 rule we talked about? Well, teaching suggests that humanity has collectively reached about 70% completion in our intellectual and material growth. Think about it. We've built the internet, towering cities, vast global economies, but we're kind of stuck at that 70% threshold. To break through and access that final 30% of heavenly power, we have to stop just accumulating for ourselves and start executing our true spiritual purpose. So, here is the exact 3-step execution plan you need. Step 1, stop blaming others. Seriously, complaining and blaming block the universal flow entirely. It means you are actively rejecting the very conditions you co-created. Step 2, cultivate wisdom. Transform mere information into true, deep understanding. Step 3, practice Hongik Ingen, which essentially means living to broadly benefit humanity. Use your 70% material foundation to help others. The renowned Mediterranean mystic Daskalos echoed this perfectly. He taught that to truly execute your purpose, you must actively purify your mental elementals. And by that, he means your subconscious thoughts and negative habits. You have to clean the lens through which you observe the universe. And then you replace those negative elementals with agape, or unconditional love. When you approach the world with agape, you are practically living Wu Wei. You are flowing with the universe's ultimate, highest vibration. And finally, we arrive at our conclusion. Part 5, the ultimate results. Let's look at what actually happens when you commit to this. What's the real return on investment? Well, the old paradigm was all about seeking personal blessings through forced effort, which, let's be honest, just resulted in continued frustrating karmic cycles. But the new paradigm? Here, you seek spiritual purification. You act through natural flow and genuine social contribution. And the result? Ultimate spiritual freedom and universal harmony. It turns out, when you help others, the universe naturally organizes itself to help you right back. To synthesize absolutely everything we've discussed today, shed the illusion of a separated self and become a true cosmic citizen. When you stop fighting the universe, when you stop blaming others, and when you finally start using your energy to uplift the interconnected web of life, you graduate. You evolve from an isolated individual struggling against the current into a powerful, co-creative cosmic citizen. The science and the spiritual masters agree on this one profound truth. You are the microcosm. You are the observer. You literally hold the pen to write the conditions of your next snowstorm. So, as you step away from this explainer and back into the flow of your daily life, I want to leave you with this one question to ponder. How will your consciousness shape your universe today?